Nanda Pranam. Haribo. How are you, Maharaj? Oh,
everyone okay?
Maharaj. Ah,
yes,
yes, Maharaj.
Okay.
For grace the Guru and Vaishnava. All okay. And you?
By your grace.
Muy bien. Dandavas Pranam. Prabhu Kechava.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Kali Yuga in this moment is very strong. Very children in Palestine is dead, is disaster. I mean,
I know.
Very sad, very sad old situation.
Also in Ukraine, Palestine, so many places.
Sí.
Gauranga.
Ay, Krishna.
So let's chant Vandana.
Yes, Maharaj.
Prabhu?
Yeah.
Can I put it on the screen?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Radha. What is that?
Shraddha Patel, I met at the store.
Okay. Namaste, Shraddha.
Namaste, Guruji.
Hare Krishna. So we're going to chant Vandana prayers to the spiritual masters and the saints before us. Vandeham.
Shri Yuta Shri Guru Vaishnavansha Shri
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Pandita
Ananta Shiracharya Varanijam Urvabhishta
Svavishta Supurakam Guru Vaina Shishta Shambushita Shintya Samasta Vedam Nipunasi Rupa Bhantanugam Govinda Vidam Ubaram Bharatapurya Vidam Sundaram Bandadishva Purushadiyo Bhagava Premo Divya
Devam
Janushandavanam Arkashirashitam Sandrananda Puransadeka Baranam Jaya Budi Silsilan Tanidim Suvatila Siddhan Saraswat Vandetan Suvatam Padeka Sarana Vijay Srila Saraswati Vidito Gaudija Puram Baye
Bhatto Vanuriva Gagane Yoga Sankirtane Mayava Kilogram Prapanna-jivanamrtam Krishna Prema Sudabhigana Sukham Prada Prabhutam Bhaje Namo Gaurati Shoraya Bharta Dutamurtaye Gaurangri Mama Vrindaya Radhavani Sevine Bhakti Yoga Sigaura Satya Swarupam Bhakti Shastrajna Sahaja Radharasa Sudhaniri Sheshai Vaishnavai Vandya Vigraham Jagannatha Prabhuvande Premadim Birda Vaishnava Panchakal Pataruyacha Kripa Sindhuya Evacha Patitana Paveyo Vaisnaveyo Namo Namo Panchatattva Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Namo Mahavandajaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Name Gaura Trise Namaha Jaya Tantra Mama Mandamati Ma Sarva Padam Goyao Ragamadana Mohana Dila Vrindaya Palpadumada Sriman Ranagara Sisvanastao Sir Gandharva Srila Govinda Devao Prestalivi Sevana Osmarami Sriman Rasambi Bhansi Vatatata Stita Karsam Venu Sanai Gopi Gopina Yuriyetuna Vrindayai Tulasidayai Pridayai Keshavaya Sha Krishna Bhakti Pradidevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Attanama Mantra Guru Guru Bhagavatar Talam Yasa Jaga Guru Nabo Tato Yaya Udijaye Jaya Sahaparikara Sisi Guru Gauranga Govinda Sundar Palama Jaya Su Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Saraswat Sri Gauranga Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurumar, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya, Srila Santa Maharaja ki jai.
Jai.
Hiri Govardhana ki jai.
Jai.
Samaveda Bhaktivedanta ki jai. Oh, glory assembled devotees. Oh, glory to the worldwide devotees. Jai Go Puri.
Jai.
Hari Hari Bol.
Puri Bol.
Hari Bol.
Mahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj ki jai.
Jai. Hari.
Radha. So we are reading about Sharanagati. Sharanagati means surrender. We are reading from the book of Srila Sridhara Maharaj on this topic called Sri Prapanna-jivanamrtam. We're in text 16 of chapter 4. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakachoya Astotara Satashri Sripad Bhakti Rakshak Dev-Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Sri Prapanna-jivanamrtam ki jai. Achutya Sambandha Hina Jnana Armadher Api Pratikuyam Naiskanyam ap vichutta bhava varjitam asobhate jnanam alam niranjanam kuta punashasva abhadram isvare karpitam kama tadapya kacharanam by Sridhara Muni. The adversity of pursuits based on knowledge and action, gyan and karma, devoid of any relationship with the Supreme Lord Hari. When unadulterated knowledge that is devoid of action and its reaction is never becoming without a devotional relationship with the infallible Lord, how then will action, which is ill-fated by nature, ever be exalted without being offered to the Almighty, even if it is utterly selfless? So what they're saying here, when we cultivate knowledge that is not in relationship to the Lord, knowledge that is devoid of any relationship to God, just as we see today going on in the world, so much knowledge is being taught, yet had nothing to do with God, nothing to do with Krishna. This is something that is ill-fated. It will not lead to any good result. We can see in the world all our knowledge, all our scientific knowledge, whatever we have done as far as pursuing knowledge, material knowledge, knowledge of the material world, it has all resulted in the situation we have today in the world: climate crisis, war, all the difficulties that we are facing, modern society is facing today, because they've left out the most important thing. They've left out Krishna. They left out God. They're all trying to do everything on their own, according to their own ideas. But that the world is not created to be independent of God. It is God's world. It is Krishna's creation. And he has a plan for it. He has a plan for us. And if we disregard all of that and simply go about cultivating so-called knowledge, then it will end in disaster, ill-fated. So not only knowledge, but any action that is not offered to God, that is not done as an act of devotion, of service to the Supreme Lord, that will also lead to a terrible outcome, destructive outcome, whether it be cultivation of knowledge or development of activities, different activities. If they are not directed, they do not have as their aim satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, or bringing us closer to an understanding and love of the Supreme Lord, then they will react upon us in an adverse way. It's not that the world has no purpose, that our lives have no purpose, or that it's not that the purpose of this world is to do whatever you want. Neither of these things can embrace, can comprehend the true reality that this world is a world created by Krishna for the purpose of bringing the conditioned soul back to Godhead, back to himself. And therefore the scriptures and rules and regulations, so many things are given how to help the conditioned souls and their path back to Godhead. And especially this path of Bhakti Yoga, yoga of devotion, yoga of love, is recommended in this Kali Yuga as a path for making our way back to Godhead in the most favorable way, the easiest way. Other forms of yoga are very difficult to practice. But Bhakti Yoga requires only that you use your heart. Use your heart, of course, your mind has to be fixed also. But simply by expressing your service to the Lord, favorable service, loving service to the Lord, then we can practice the path of Bhakti Yoga under the guidance of our spiritual teacher or guru. Not that anyone and everyone can do that on their own. It must be done under the guidance also of Gurudev. Otherwise, people have a tendency to make their own rules up, make their own ideas, all imagination, and try to imagine themselves doing something in relationship to God, when in fact it's only something in relationship to their improper ideas. I wrote that book, Idols of the Mind. You know, the idea of idol. An idol is a false representation of God, a false thing that you worship. Instead of worshiping God, they worship idols. So like that, by creating idols of the mind, we are worshiping that as the truth. But they're only creations of our imagination. So a genuine offering to God, that requires guru, instruction, a qualified teacher, a person who has actually achieved some kind of perfection in the service of the Lord, and understanding the absolute nature of God. And then under that direction, we can make some progress, real progress in spiritual life. So this was told by one of the gurus in our parampara, Narada Muni. This was his statement, Narada. As you know, Narada is also in the line of Brahma, son of Brahma. Text number 17. Yamadi yoga saranasya narjaniyata. Yamadi vir yoga patai amalova hato mahu. Ukunda sevaya yadvat taratar tatarapa sasamyati sridharasya. The futility of sense control by yogic practice. An agitated mind, repeatedly taken capture by its enemy in the form of depravity rooted in lust and greed, is directly mastered by serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead Mukunda. Can never be likewise checked or pacified by practicing the eightfold yoga discipline, which is generally based on sensual and mental repression, yama, niyama, etc. So the great yogis in the past, even today, some practice this system of yoga, Ashtanga yoga. Their purpose was to control the senses, control the mind. Why? Because they want to focus upon the super soul, the Paramatma, within. And so when the attention is drawn outward to the sense objects, that focus, that samadhi, that steady meditation, fixation upon the Lord is disturbed. And their energy goes out instead of going in and up. So they can meditate upon the higher things, the higher reality, the spiritual reality, rather than the mundane reality. So that practice is very difficult. How do you control mind? Arjuna said, the mind is more difficult to control than the wind. And he tried to control the wind. It'll be very difficult, especially in a storm. And the mind is like that. And especially the senses, when they want something, difficult to stop them. Simply say no. You have to be a very strict kind of person, very strong-willed to be able to do that. Anyhow, that's not very likely in this Kali Yuga. People are not so strong-willed. Anyhow, Krishna has given us a more accessible, simpler process by which we can control the mind and the sense. He says, use your mind, use your senses in service to me. You want to control your eating, your eating things, eat prasad. Offer the food to me first and then eat. Instead of going out and slaughtering animals and eating other types of foods that are unhealthy and not good for you, try to prepare nice foodstuffs using simple ingredients. Flour, a leaf, fruit, water. These simple things. Prepare nice prasad, nice food, and offer to me, and then take that prasad. That will help you direct your tongue toward me, toward service to me. Instead of going out and seeing different things in this world, movies and whatnot, go to the temple and see the beautiful deities of the Lord. See the ecstatic devotees chanting Hare Krishna. Use your vision for things that will bring you closer to Krishna. Put a picture in your house that you can worship, offer incense and flowers and so forth. And this way, use the eyes and the tongue and the nose. All the senses can be utilized in this way to direct them toward Krishna rather than direct them toward objects or as material things, material objects. So the bhakta, the pure bhakta, he rejects this idea of controlling the senses like the yogis do. He tries to use the process of pravritti marg. There are two processes. One is called pravritti marg, the other is called nivritti marg. Pravritti marg means to utilize the senses and the service of the Lord, and nivritti marg means to deny the senses. Deny the senses. We don't agree to that form of yoga, that form of control. That will not give us the desired goal. Only by utilizing the senses in the service of Krishna will the senses become properly utilized, properly controlled. The idea of spiritual life is not that we become a zombie, a stone. In the spiritual world, there is activities. There's lila, there's pastimes, play, relationships, So we have to learn how to develop those relationships, even while we're here in the material world, by using everything in the service of Krishna. Then we may be qualified under the guidance of Gurudev to be able to see Krishna's pastimes unfolding before us. That is the proper attitude. The mood of devotion and service has to be cultivated first before we can ever expect to be members of the spiritual world. The material world is called the world of exploitation, and the spiritual world is called the world of dedication. So we have to qualify ourselves first, learning how to become dedicating units. Text number 18.
Beautiful, Maharaj teaching. Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Jai Pragyaditi ki jai. Haribol.
Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances at your feet.
Thank you, Stat. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Maharaj. How are you? Thank you so much for your association.
Okay, good. All right, we're reading now. Text number 18. What to reject on the path of devotion. We're discussing those things in this chapter. The things that we should try to give up for practicing the path of Bhakti Yoga. Brahma Sukhagra Patikula Se Eva Tvatsakshat Karanalada Vishudhabdi Stitastrame Sukhani Gospadhyante Pamananyapi Jagat Karo. Sripad Maharaja. Eagerness to attain the bliss of Brahman must be known as unfavorable to devotion. O Guru of the universe, now that I can directly behold your divine form, I reside within the ocean of pure ecstasy, and all other pleasures, including the bliss of merging with Brahman, appear as insignificant as the water in a cow's footprint. Prahlad Maharaj spoke. So we are taught by the Acharyas that attaining Brahman is not the ultimate goal. In Indian philosophy and Vedanta and so forth, the Advaitins, they preach that the highest thing to know is Brahman. And Vedanta Sutra actually says that. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. It says now is the time to inquire about Brahman. But Brahman is not the highest thing. And those who have reached to those highest platforms, they know that. Prahlad Maharaj was able to see pastimes of Narayan, was able to see Narayan himself. And so the platform of Brahman was like a puddle of water compared to the ocean of bliss that was experienced in the association of Narayan. It was like a puddle of water in a cow's footprint. It wasn't like an ocean. From our mundane perspective, Brahman seems very big, and it is. It's like an ocean, more than an ocean. It's the infinite. Yet even the attainment of Brahman is not the highest thing, according to the saints, according to the Bhaktas. They find that Brahman is a very insignificant achievement when you come to the lotus feet Narayan. And even the lotus feet of Narayan are not so significant when you come to the lotus feet of Krishna, Radha and Krishna. Vaikuntha, the land of Narayan, is called Vaikuntha. And beyond the Vaikuntha planets, there is Goloka, the land of Krishna and the Gopis. Golok. So our aspiration is Goloka Vrindavan, not Vaikuntha, and not Brahman. These things can be understood only from the acharyas, the teachers of that higher knowledge. Otherwise, how do we know? We only know mundane sense gratification at the level of the material world. Getting some pleasures from engagement of the senses here in a very imperfect way. If you like pizza, for instance, and you try to eat pizza all the time, you'll get sick of it. It's not very satisfying if you had to eat it every day, 24 hours a day. So sense enjoyment has its limitations in this world. But there in the spiritual world, the pleasures of the spiritual existence are infinite, never ending, forever satisfied, and yet increasing satisfaction, what they call ecstasy or bliss, ananda, as experienced at that plane, which is based upon devotion, dedication, service, love, and not exploitation, greed, lust. So there's a difference in quality. Although we're all seeking after happiness, the happiness that we achieve by trying to enjoy the things of this material world are incomparable to that enjoyment which is found in the world of service, of love, of bhakti, Krishna prem. Incomparable. There's same pleasure is there, we could say, pleasure principle. We are meant to have pleasure. We are meant to enjoy. We are meant to be happy. But the problem is we don't know how to do that properly. For Krishna is giving so many instructions through himself, through the scriptures, the devotees, on how to attain that plane of real happiness, of real enjoyment. And when devotees serve the Lord in the proper mood, simply by their service, by simple service, the joy they feel in their hearts, incomparable to any joy that we can experience through sense gratification. The sweetness of the heart's enjoyment in devotional service far exceeds whatever sweetness we can enjoy from things of this world. Text 19. Mukti spriya prihaya patikuyam bhava bandha chide tasmai spriyayami namuktaye bhavan prabhur aham dasa iti yatra vilupyate. The Hanuman, Hanumata. The aspiration for liberation is particularly unfavorable. Hanuman is saying like this: I have no aspiration for that liberation which is meant to sever material bondage, and in which the relationship, you are master and I servant, is completely lost. Hanuman was feeling so much ecstasy, so much joy in being the servant of Ram, his master. He was feeling so much joy in that relationship. He was not interested in getting liberated from this world. If liberation meant that he could not serve his master anymore, that he becomes God, as the liberationists think, the renunciates. They think their purpose is to become God, become one. Hanuman is saying, no, I don't want that. I'm relishing so much the life of service to my master. The joy that I'm feeling in that relationship is so high, so complete, so overflowing, that the thought of losing that is like hell. It would be like hell to me. So this is the nature of the serving mood. The reward of service is that we feel complete satisfaction within our soul satisfaction. Why? Krishna, if one reads the Shastra, one reads what the teachers, the highest plane of reality are giving to us, we will understand that we are made, the soul is made for service to Krishna. That is its function, its constitutional position. Mahaprabhu taught, Trivera Sarpoi Krishna Nityaras. The soul is meant for the service, eternal service of Krishna. That's called Sanatana Dharma. Without understanding his eternal service, not to speak of his material Dharma, but his eternal Dharma. Whatever Dharma we have in this world, whatever duties we have, and the stages of life that we are given, that's one Dharma, Varnashram Dharma. But Daivi Varnashram Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, eternal Dharma, that's something that we have, despite whatever life we may be given. In Vedic culture, there's many lives, millions of lifetimes can be had in this samsara, in the field of birth and death, karma, action and reaction, can produce many lives. And therefore we have many dharmas throughout all those different lives. But all those dharmas are not the real dharma, are not a real occupational duty, are not a real position. Sanatana Dharma is that comes with us, is that what comes with us through every birth. Through every birth, we have an eternal relationship with Krishna. That is Sanatana Dharma. Not the Dharma that we have in this life, but throughout eternity, throughout all lives. The higher Dharma. Higher Dharma, it means to serve and love Krishna and be happy with him. Not only happy, but ecstatic. Experience sat-cit-ananda. That is our birthright. We are created for that only. And if we do not understand that that is our real purpose, that is our real nature, to serve in that capacity, then we have missed everything. And getting cheated. There's no happiness in other things. Text 20. Sayuja Mukti Spriha Adatyam eva bhakti seva bhagavato muktistat padalanganam ko mudo dasatam prapya bhavavam padat ichati. The aspiration to become one with the Absolute is nothing more than arrogance. Bhakti is the service of the Supreme Personality of God. And mukti is the overstepping of that service. Who is the fool that hankers for liberation's throne, rejecting the servitorship of the Lord? Shiramula. Bhakti comes from the word bhaja, bhaj, bhakti, bhaj. Bhaj means sacrifice, service, or what would you say? Praise, huh? Bhaj, bhajan, bhakti, adoration, heartfelt adoration, heartfelt sacrifice, heartfelt giving, heartfelt appreciation, something like that. Love, basically, bhakti. So bhakti is the service of the Supreme Personality. Liberation means we want to cease everything. Service, exploitation, whatever it may be, we want to stop it all. That's liberation or renunciation. Liberation means renunciation. Renounce everything, even service to Krishna, they want to renounce. So that is foolishness. We are meant for serving Krishna. And yet if we renounce even that, and our anxiety to get free from material misery, if we renounce even our service to the Supreme Lord, even devotional service, then we are fools. Fool number one. We're to give up our exploitive mentality, that's all. Not that we are to give up our service mood. Devotional mood is to be cultivated, not to be renounced. The self-enjoying mood, that is to be left to the side. That is to be neglected, but not our serving mood. So the liberationists do not understand this. They're so anxious to get out of this cycle of birth and death, the miseries of this material world. They're so intent on that they even give up, they even overlook service to the Supreme Lord. Yes, the material world is a place of misery. It will be very difficult for those who have accumulated much karma in their lives. It will be very difficult. And you want to get out of that as soon as possible. But the process is not simply to renounce everything. The process for getting out of our misery is to enter into a proper, loving, devotional service mood with the Supreme Lord. That is the process of removing all difficulty. You know that saying about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. When you put the baby in the bathtub, the water may become dirty. Once the baby is dirty, but once you put him in the tub, he becomes clean. And if you throw out the dirty water with the baby in it, then you're foolish, no? So you want to save the baby. We are servants of Krishna, eternal servants of. And although we may be in this material world, there's so many dirty things that this world presents to us. We want to get rid of those dirty things without getting rid of the soul, of the soul's relationship with Krishna. That must be preserved. And the cleansing means to cleanse any attitude, any mood that's separate from that serving spirit, dedicating spirit, that exclusive service of the Lord. All other things must be removed. That is considered a proper attitude. Liberation is for people who do not understand the real meaning of life. They're only self-interest. Liberation. And it's also arrogance in the sense that they neglect to cultivate the knowledge of a supreme person, someone greater than themselves. And all they know is the heap of themselves, and they want to come to that position of supremacy, above nature. That position belongs to God. He is above nature. And our position is not to become God, but to serve God. Text 21. Adyantikalaya Sriha Viveka Kanataiva Hinataiva Anta Atriyate Mitra Smitva Tan Mama Manasam Vivekino Vihe Karyas Krishnam Adyantikalaya Vaye Yashanshit means devotee, votary. The astonishing indiscrimination in the aspiration for ultimate solution. Alas, my friend, my heart is simply astonished when I think of all those discriminating persons who aspire for self-extinction and perpetual indiscriminate absolution. So here again, repeating the idea that desire to give up ego, all these other things, is merely half the solution. Baked idea. Have baked. Because the other side of reality is not seen and not understood and not been learned about. We know one half of the reality, the reality of this world and how to escape this world. But we don't know about the other half of reality. It's the land of dedication, the land of devotion, the land of service, the land of love, the spiritual plane. There's also a spiritual world. The world is completed when we understand both halves, the material half and the spiritual half. Plane of exploitation and the plane of dedication. We should not only try to get out of this world, out of our misery, come to the medium point, come to the neutral point, but we can go beyond that. Bhakti teaches that, how to go beyond that. The Buddhists and other people, Mayavads, Advaitins, they all teach liberation, mukti. But the devotees, they are teaching that beyond mukti, there is a plane of dedication, of devotion, of service, of love, a real joy, a real enjoyment. Don't just settle for getting out from this plane. Try to enter into that world. Prabhu is teaching us that. And we're trying to humbly follow for our benefit and teaching these things for the benefit of all. Okay? Any comment or question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I had one question.
Yes, Denise.
Maharaj, like there is a war going on and so many people are dying and there's so much suffering, and then you know that Krishna is a controller and everything is happening as per God's plan. But at the same time, it's very disturbing and sad to see the state of the world. So
Yeah.
Maharaj, what can we do and how to understand this
Hmm.
thing?
I think we have to recognize the limitations of ourselves. How much can we do? We have difficulty controlling our own lives. What to speak of the clashes of countries all over the world. How do we control that? We have to control what we can. What is that? You know that prayer from the what is that? People who are alcoholics.
Okay.
Can't be the
Yeah,
what is
12,
it?
12 steps.
Huh?
The 12 steps to
12
recovery.
step. What do they say? Grant me the wisdom. What did they say?
I don't
You don't remember.
No.
Anyhow, we have to have the intelligence, the wisdom to understand what we can change and what we can't. We can't change what people are doing if they're insane. These countries, they become wild, they become insane, basically. Nobody wants war. Nobody wants to be killed. Who does? Who wants that? The people don't want that. There are certain leaders who feel these things, who enrage the people, who engage in these types of activities. And it's very unfortunate, but there are such persons in this world. But we are not in position to stop them. We have our own war going on within ourselves. Just like Arjuna, who was in the battle of Kurukshetra.
Yes, Maharaj.
Krishna was teaching him in the midst of a battle how to become self-realized. He didn't
Yes.
tell him to stop the battle. He taught him how to become Krishna conscious in the midst of the battle. That's our job. Huh?
Yes, Maharaj.
Make sense?
Yes, Maharaj. But why does Krishna not? Can we still pray to him to solve this, and
Huh?
it won't get solved? Should we pray to Krishna to solve this, Maharaj, or is it like we have to surrender to Krishna and let things happen? What
No.
should our attitude be when we pray to Krishna about this?
I always think if Krishna wants to make a war, put us in the middle of war, we have to accept that. I remember Srila Prabhupada in Calcutta during World War II. Many people were leaving Calcutta because the city was being bombed.
Yes, Maharaj.
And they told Prabhupada, let's get out of here. We don't want you to get killed. And people are being bombing here. And you know what Prabhupada said? Prabhupada said, if Krishna wants to kill me in the form of a bomb, then why should I object? He said like that.
Yes, Maharaj.
I said, if Krishna wants to kill me, nobody could save me. And if Krishna wants to save me, nobody could kill me. So he wasn't thinking of how to stop the war or anything like that. He was thinking, let me always remember Krishna. always try to be mindful of his control of the situation and surrender to him. I think that's the maximum we can do. Because we're not God. We cannot control the situation outside of us.
Yes,
But we
Maharaj.
can control our own lives, our own meditation, our own fixation. And that's enough for us. And if Krishna wants to solve these problems, that's his business. He is creating these situations and he can solve them. They are created under his what do you say?
Administration.
Huh?
Administration.
They are created under his
No restriction.
lordship.
Yes.
Nothing
Yeah.
happens without, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord, they say. So these are being done by the material energy of the Lord. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sat-cit-ananda. This world is acting under the influence of Maya, by Krishna's Maya, Krishna's external energy. Whatever purposes he has in that will be determined by each individual, what they are suffering. Although we try to solve the problem, but how can we solve the problems of the world? Only by teaching these things that Krishna has taught us. Look, you want to solve your problems. This is the way I am doing it, and this is the way I hope that you will take it up also and do it. Then maybe we can be helpful in that way. But as far as trying to influence political situations and the mentalities of evil leaders and things like that, how much can we do? If you have some friends there or someone that you know and you like to help, then whatever you can do, of course, we should try to do that also, to send money or to send condolences. But mainly we want to, try to understand ourselves what is the process for getting out of this horrible material situation and try to explain that to others also.
Yes, Maharaj.
I remember one time the devotees were coming to Sridhara Maharaj. Oh, Maharaj, the world situation is so bad. They're expecting World War III to start any day now between India and Pakistan. Prabhupada used to say that India and Pakistan will start the next World War. So they came to Sridhara Maharaj like this, very worried. And Sridhara Maharaj says, World War III, let it be. Let it be.
Mhm.
It was like that. Let it be. If that is what has happened, let it be.
Yes, Maharaj.
So we have to understand the mood of the devotee, mood of the devotee is always with Krishna, always in relation to the Supreme Lord, and leaving everything to his hand, and trying to teach that to others also. Don't get so caught up in the problems of this world. You won't solve them by trying to solve those problems directly. The only way you'll solve all your problems is by surrendering to Krishna. This is our philosophy.
Yes, Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj. So,
Krishna says in the Gita, now that verse in the Gita, Oktaram Yagatapasvam, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Sridhama Sarvabhutaram, Yatva Mam Shantamrichati. Shanta means peace. Prabhupada used to quote that verse as the peace formula. Peace formula. You know what it means? Oktaram Yagatapasvam.
no, Maharaj.
Oktaram means Yagya. Oktaram Yagatapasvam. Krishna is saying, Oktaram, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices. All sacrifices are meant for my enjoyment. This is the first thing we should recognize if we want to have peace. All of our sacrifices should be made for the satisfaction of Krishna. Oktaram Yagyatavasvam. Then he says, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. And I am the Lord of everywhere, of every place and everything. I am the enjoyer of all your sacrifices, and I am the Lord of everything. Sarvaloka. All places are under my domain. Sarvaloka Maheshwara. Then he says, Suridam Sarvabhutanam. And I am the friend in everyone's heart. I am your friend, waiting there, sitting there, in everyone's heart. And if one can understand these three things, that I am the enjoyer of all of your efforts, all your sacrifices, all your endeavors, I am the enjoyer of that. It is for my pleasure. That I am the Lord of everything and everywhere, and that I am in your heart as a friend, whoever you are, whatever you are, I am there as your friend. If people can understand these three things, Krishna says, then Shanti will prevail, peace will prevail. Mama Shanti Richati, one will know me, and there will be peace.
Yes, Maharaj. That was beautiful, Maharaj. The whole explanation. Thank you so much. I'll hear it again.
Okay.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much. I feel better already hearing everything.
Yeah, all the answers are given by Krishna, by Gurudev. We just have to read, try to apply that in our life.
Yes.
Srila, did he? Were you able to follow what we were saying?
Yeah, I was, Maharaj. I just started, listening to
Okay.
Krishna's stories, and
Okay.
we started watching Mahabharata recently, and slowly I'm gaining the knowledge. Slowly I'm trying to apply, Krishna's teachings, like surrendering everything to himself. And so I'm trying every day to do that.
Very nice. Very nice. Okay, we are here every week if you like to try.
Maharaj,
Yes, Prabhu.
Maharaj, I sent to Keshava Prabhu little comment. Little comment.
Okay.
Dear Maharaj, everything is so beautiful and perfect. I do not understand why many people do not understand something so beautiful and simple that Arjuna said. I can control the wind with one hand, but it is not possible for me to control the mind. If Arjuna said that, then deceiving scoundrels want to do business with yoga, liberation, and foolish schools that seek to deceive with supposed control of the mind and senses. But if Arjuna said, no, he cannot, being a great devotee, then it is easy to understand that one must surrender to Krishna, to Sri Krishna, and his authorized agents and associate with the dear devotees of those agents, and we will make this material world a branch of the land of love in Krishna consciousness. That is the way. Thank you.
My dandavats to you. My dandavats to all. Please be safe, be happy, be surrendered to Krishna. My love to you all. Hare Krishna.
I love you, Maharaj. I love you, devotee. Hari Bo.